So I'm going to do a bit about using quick rig, and this is the method to build a skeleton into your character. Now this is a way also to build a full control rig, but that's not necessary if you're then going to take your character into Motion Builder and put some mocap onto it. So this is the kind of simple version. Now the reason why you might use quick rig is if you have an extra element to add into your rig, such as a chain for a ponytail, or some other kind of extra limb like an animal tail if you've got a kind of humanoid creature or alien or something. So this is a kind of simple version. The thing about Mixamo is it will put a skeleton and it'll put some fingers in your character, but it won't put extra elements in. So anyway, let's do a quick look at quick rig and kind of move the process on a little bit from there. So here's my character. I'm going to get rid of the image planes, so just drag select those and hit delete, and then I've got two items. So I've got my main mesh here, and then I've actually got two eyeballs, but they are as one object, and obviously if you're going to be animating the eyes at all, you want them as two separate objects, but this is just really just to ensure that you're clear about what it is you're going to be putting to the skeleton. Okay, so the skeleton is going to be controlling both the main mesh and the eyeball objects too, so you make sure that everything that you want to be skeletoned is selected. Okay, now in the rigging section, you'll see here there's the quick rig tool, but it's not always easy to get this area to come up. So the way to get to it that's more kind of accessible, I guess, is to, if you come into this from modeling, you'll be in this shelf here, and then go to rigging, and then there's an icon at the top here, so you go to the quick rig icon. Now you can do a rig with one click, and that will just kind of analyze the body and make a good guess quite often at the position where the joints are, but it doesn't always get things totally right, and I think the proportions of my figure here are slightly different, so we'll do it the slightly less simple version, and this does carry a bit more control than you get with Mixamo's guide system for joints and major joints in the figure. So okay, so I've selected my two mesh objects here, and we're going to go for the step by step. It's not that many steps really, and it does give you a bit of control over it. Okay, just so you know, this is my this is show off, so it's revealing what my key presses and mouse button presses are. Okay, so we go plus new character, and then down into this box here we click to add the selected things from over here in the outliner. Okay, or if you have, by the way, if you have objects that you want to select in here, this is kind of opposite to the way it works if you're selecting multiple edges or multiple faces. You select the one object, and any object that's not immediately next to it, if you hold Control down and then click that object, it will select the objects that are separated as well, and you can keep adding in by holding down Control. So I don't actually want those things selected. Thankfully, selection is also an undoable offence. Okay, so I've got my two objects here. This is what I'm going to be. The process is called skinning. So if you see this process in other software, or there is actually a skinning process you can do within Maya as well. So you don't have to do everything automated. You can go the long way round and get it exactly the way you want it. Okay, but the beauty of the quick rig process is you can kind of intervene. You can have an intervention, and you can add in some extra bone joints, joint chains, I should say, and do things like tweak the weight painting as well. So it's a kind of a nice mix of automated with some customizability. Right, now to guides. So step 2 is guides. The guide settings seem to me work pretty well. Let's have a quick look at those, what they are. Oh yeah, so how it's going to consider the spine, and how it's going to consider, how many joints there are in the spine, and how many joints for the neck, and each shoulder side as well. I mean, you could have some sort of creature that needs a bit more doing to it. I'm not quite sure what they mean with the hips translation anyway. I don't kind of use it. So you go create. Now, this by default gives you a sort of X-ray view. I find it's quite useful with the side view to go to wireframe as well. Okay, so this just makes things a little bit clearer. The wireframe view shows you very clearly where the extra joint loops are. So like the guess, as you can see here, for the knee joint is somewhat off, so that's going to need tweaking. Because it's got mirror matching, or you can kind of translate the settings for one side onto the other. You only need to mess about with one side's worth of business. Now, some of this setting is about the way the character is, and some of it's about fixing up things ready for Motion Builder. Okay, so right, so I'm just going to select this guide here, and then go W key to give us the move tool. Just raise that a bit. The reason I'm doing that is that the arms are in a raised position. If you go to the mocappies, that's mocap spelt with an extra P and Y channel on YouTube, you can find some good stuff about preparation or hoops to jump through in Motion Builder for your character, and it's quite a good kind of coverage of things to bear in mind, and or actually things that you can fix up before you get to Motion Builder. I'm trying to think about how this slightly cartoony character would be in terms of a kind of an internal skeleton. I'll go to this view now and fix out these ones. And I think when you get to to Motion Builder, you'll find also that the characterization system that kind of gets your skeleton fully recognized as by Motion Builder requires some sort of little tweaks that are maybe counterintuitive, but anyway. Alright, okay, it's quite a good idea just to keep an eye on what's becoming selected and just get used to the names of stuff, by the way. For some reason the guides kind of hang around once you've finished with the quick rig thing. Maybe it's a useful thing. Now, okay, I finished doing one side. I'm just going to have a quick look in a fairly straightforward front view. I did have an issue with some of the things in Motion Builder. They give me a slightly wonky head, but that seems okay. Maybe it's different arrangement. So I've selected them all, and I'm going to pass over the stuff that I've done on the right side of the character over to the left. So there's a little twitch there. Now I'm looking at this one. I just want to check the alignment of these, because there will be a bit of fiddling in. That's pretty good. It's a bit higher. Maybe I lifted that one up a little bit too much. Let's bring that one down. This is one of the things that Motion Builder will whinge about. Oops, I needed to select them all and then transfer it over. You can just see that one twitch there. Okay, that's good enough. Let's go for skeleton settings. So you can, again, you put another another check and go back up here if you're unhappy about the amount of spine joints you've got, and edit that if you want to. Now in this one I just want skeleton only, not control rig 2. The control rig you create later, either in Motion Builder or back in your modelling software of choice. Sorry, animation software of choice. Okay, so create update, there's our new skelly. And then finally the binding, which is the skinning part of the process, which is number 5. Used to be a 4-step, I'm sure. Anyway, let's do this. And of course, at any point, if you want to go back, you can just hit the trash bin and go back to the stage before. But this is all good. Let's do skinning. Okay, and that looks like it's done. The way to check, of course, is to grab one of these bones and move it about, with the expectation that the mesh will move too. So if I go for that one, grab this, there you go. Doesn't work very well, of course, because it's been totally what's the word? Totally excluded from the skinning process, in terms of making it exactly how it should be for the mesh. And that guide on the leg could probably do with being a little bit lower. So this looks rubbish, partly because it's it's an entirely automated thing, partly because my mesh is very low resolution. You can see in the wireframe there that somewhat needing work, but it's done the job. It's now a kind of a skinned character. Okay, so the next thing would be to save and export. Now let's cover that in another clip. Okay, so anyway, that's how to do your quick rig. And Autodesk have done a good video on how to add to a quick rig during the quick rig process. Okay, that's it for this one. Thank you.